Building on these conversations, we now move to a session focused entirely on where Asian travel is heading next, looking at these major trends darkly from an industry perspective to see what they mean for the future of our business. Moderated this session, please join me in welcoming back Chameleon Strategies, along with the speakers, Mr. Mark Wong, Senior Vice President, Asia Pacific Small Luxury Hotels of the World, and Mr. Drago Djourov, Managing Director, DD Traveler Research and Insight. Let's give them a round of applause.
Good morning. I see the room is getting a little bit more crowded, which is nice. So the ones that missed our morning chat between myself and Fazal, where we talked about the revealing of our new Asia Pacific outbound traveler handbook. You can download it at asiatraveltrends.com. If you haven't done so, you can scan the QR code. What I wanted to do now is have a chat about the trends in Asia when it comes to outbound travel and consumer behavior, especially in light of all the various changes that are happening when it comes to artificial intelligence, as we just heard, but also geopolitical challenges, climate change, sustainability, and lots of other dynamic situations that obviously influence how people travel today. But before maybe we start, maybe you can give a quick 30-second kind of snapshot where you're coming from and what made you arrive on stage here today. Maybe we'll start with Mark.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Wong. I'm a Senior Vice President for Small Luxury Hotels. We are a global group of independent hotels. You might not have seen us that much on the radar, but we are 700 hotels in 100 countries. But we run very small hotels, average about 50 rooms, and we run very personalized services for very high-end customers. I think one of the things that we've been very passionate about is this area of conscious travel, which we launched actually 20 years ago, where we have this initiative called Caring Luxury. And that's always involving the environment, involving the community that we operate in. And that's how it evolved over time, especially after the pandemic, when everybody came back with sustainability as a sort of the hot topic. Before AI overtook the hot topic of the travel industry. Sustainability was one of it. And we started this whole initiative called Conscious Travel. And within this three pillars of the conscious travel that I've been talking about around during all my different travel speeches is sustainability is one, inclusivity is the other one, and longevity is the other one, which I'm quite sure everyone is in this room would like to know more about wellness, which we'll talk about on another day. But today we'll talk about inclusivity, which is one of our main pillars also on conscious travel, and that's why I'm here today.
Drago?
Yes, thank you. Hi, good morning. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for Zal, Crescentrating. Thanks Jens for organizing such a wonderful event. My name is Drago. I'm from Bulgaria originally. Arrived in Japan last century. I've been in Asia for almost 30 years now. Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore. I've been for almost 15 years now. What we do is research and strategy for the travel tourism industry. We work across the region. I also run a podcast that looks into what we call it is we stir unique flavors of people, culture, and brands in Asia. That's what I do as part of the business. So this would be my brief intro.
Great. So you haven't had a chance to look at the handbook, obviously, because we just unleashed it today. But when it comes to some of the changes that you're seeing, maybe Mark, we start with you. As you're looking, obviously, as targeting very high-end consumers from all over the world, but also obviously from Asia, and that's your responsibility. How are you preparing the hotels to look at the let's say the Muslim market different, number one, and number two, what are some of the key changes that you're witnessing right now that hotels maybe are slow to adapt to?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we run very small independent hotels, so we are not like the big brands out there who are catering to a mass market. So from the very start, we are already running very personalized itineraries, very personalized service. So when the internet burst into the environment, we thought that they will overtake the human interaction, but 80% of our business actually comes from the travel trade. So people like influencers, like our travel advisors, our travel industry people are still very relevant. The human element is still very relevant. So the human interaction of planning is still very relevant in our space. And in terms of the changing customer behavior over time, we still see that the personalization of services is still very integral part of where, at least at my product level, of high-end travel is. And that relies on advising people as in how they travel, where they travel to, and what kind of product they recommend their customers to. So in terms of, we actually now also been entering the Middle East market. We have specifically hotels that are wanting to target the halal travel market. As we are smaller hotels, we are able to be more agile and more adaptable to different market segments. So we might not have specific halal sections or kitchens for food, for example, but we have definitely more personalized in terms of able to cater to customers that have specific dietary requirements based off faith needs or even health needs. So again, these are we don't restrict ourselves in certain segments in that way. So that's a kind of DNA of our product. So it makes it very easier for us to adapt ourselves into a segment that we will say, specifically single out as a halal travel segment. So I think that's the part I think we are able to cater to this market much easier. But also what we're seeing also is we are a global company. We want to, and we are operator to all customers that comes through our door. One of the most important part of our inclusivity element is how can we as an establishment and an operator make the environment safe for the customer to come through, regardless of what your requirements are. And that's the key component that builds the trust with the planner who is bringing the customer to us, or if you are coming on your own, is how can we provide a safe environment for you in terms of your dietary needs, in terms of whatever travel requirements you have. So I think that's one element that we are training our hotels to be from that level, and that's across all different customer segments that comes through the door. But I think this area that we talk about, the changing environments of how different segments, we are definitely getting more inquiries from the halal travel market. We are more aware of it, and I think it's more exposure from a smaller operator, independent operator like us, to be able to address those needs as well, and also in terms of knowledge. So I think it's a two-way street, as in the more knowledge that we gain from the travel planners that are asking the requirements from us that we can cater to, and how much we can provide for the customer.
Great. Thank you. We'll get back to that. But Drago, you have an interesting background, and we just met recently in Korea at the PATA Annual Summit. You lived in Japan, now you live in Singapore, but you have a background in behavioral science. So now when you look at these changes that are going on, and where people are obviously becoming a bit more sensitive, should I travel, should I stay close to home? What are some of the key indicators that you're seeing right now that travel companies from destinations to hotels should be aware of and maybe have not seen yet?
That's a very interesting question. So I think yes. I think we could. One thing we could zoom in on is the say-do gap that we often see brands tackle, or at least need to tackle. And I think it is probably fair to say that there is a lot of survey data we probably need to correct a little bit with some behavioral understanding. And I understand you guys are working towards that. So thank you very much. But what we also need to understand is that we really need both. We need to understand people's values and aspirations and attitudes, but we also need to understand what they do and how they do it and when they do it. So one is perhaps something that's more related to the future, how people project themselves into the future. Is more about brand building. The other one is really about capturing that behavior and making it more actionable for brands right now. So what we like to tell brands, our clients, is you don't try and solve this tension. So embrace the say-do gap. Try and tap into that friction in order to inform your brand strategy. That's where the value is. And I think going back to what Dr. Hafiz was talking about earlier, if we look at the customer journey, there's a really good opportunity there again to think of, if you want to bring the traveler into the category, into the space, what you need to do is to understand their aspirations, their values. That's what brings them in. That's the brand building piece. At the same time, in order to help the traveler kind of move along the journey, that's when behavior comes in, so that you can really tweak and make very actionable tweaks along that journey for your brand to really make that conversion. So the two need to work together. Is the brand building piece, but it's also the conversion piece working in tandem. So embrace the say-do gap would be the advice here.
Okay, well, very, very interesting. Mark, going back to you, when you're working with your hotels, and obviously many of them, even though they're at the luxury level, they may not have the resources of a big 500-room property, or being part of a larger chain like Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, and so on. How can these small hotels, and maybe not even if we're looking at the luxury side, but boutique hotels, how can they leverage these opportunities today that maybe a bigger company is harder to realize?
Yeah, like I said, it's a two-way street. Also, is I think, well, both technology as well as the travel planners have to be recommending hotels to smaller operators like ourselves, so that we get more knowledge, because we are also, like AI, need to gather the knowledge to learn, to adapt, to cater to the market. So I think it's a two-way street as we get more information and more requirements, so that we can also tailor our product to serve the needs of the customer. But for us, it is definitely more agile in terms of being a very personalized area. For example, small luxury hotels have a collection called Private Collection. If you go on our website, you can click on it. There are about 200 over hotels has got private spaces, very suitable for halal travelers who are traveling for families, multi-generational families who are coming, who want to have their own private space. So they might not want to, especially for resorts, for example, you know, with swimming pools and our resorts in the Maldives and stuff like that, you want to have your private space. It's a product that's very catered to the halal traveler, but they might not know about small operators like us, because straight away they go straight away to a big brand for their search. So again, it's knowing us, you know, getting to know the smaller operators that has got these products that are waiting to welcome you to use our product, and also for us to learn more about, you know, to fill the gap, like you say, learning the behavioral needs of this market segment to be able to breach the gap.
And I think that's, I guess, a benefit of a small hotel to join a consortia like small luxury hotels as well. You know.
That's right.
You know, Drago, going back to you and kind of tying on to what you just mentioned before. You know, if I was like a destination or hotel or attraction or travel company or DMC, what kind of messaging right now would you send out from an advertising or marketing standpoint to make people feel comfortable in the age of AI? And yes, we talked about AI just before, but I think one point that I think was made that, well, you know what, there is this trust gap. You know, can I really believe what's being said there? When I call customer service, am I just kind of going through some kind of line and I'm not really being heard? But yet there are obviously advantages to AI as well. Number two, geopolitical challenges. You know, some of the sentiments that we saw at COVID are being resurfaced in terms of insurance, in terms of, well, should I travel maybe with a shorter booking window and wait until maybe things change or I feel more secure. So again, going back to the question, what are the messages that you advise a travel company to send out to customers right now to feel comfortable and confident?
Thank you. AI is a very interesting one. The panel just now had a very interesting conversation around it. I don't want to repeat some of the things that they said, but I think what we are hearing from people on the ground when we do research, when we talk to travelers, is that people are not really fully feeling the promise of AI just yet. So yes, indeed, we are seeing some very strong behavior in terms of how people are using AI, especially at the top of the funnel, in terms of research, in terms of learning about the destination and making itineraries. But how people are feeling about it is that it is in fact not resolving all tensions, it is in fact reinforcing them at the moment, which is a very interesting thing, because what hasn't changed is the kind of questions that people ask themselves when they book travel. They're still asking themselves, is this the right itinerary for me? Am I optimizing my time there? Am I missing out on something? The kind of tensions that inform these choices that people make are still the same. It is really between the familiar and the new. So I'm booking a trip to Japan. Do I go to Tokyo again, or do I go to Hiroshima? People are still tackling the tension between the planned and the spontaneous. And AI is really kind of not quite helping just yet, because what we know, what we're hearing from people, and I think you probably have the same personal experience too, is that what AI does really well is it's very exhaustive, it's very thorough, but AI is not very good at saying no, at drawing lines, yeah? And people are feeling a bit overwhelmed, they're feeling a little bit pressured by having to follow these exhaustive itineraries. So what my advice would be, where the brand can really come, step in, and I think there's some exhaustive commercial as well as academic research on this, something that we call planned serendipity. So the brand can come and step in and enable people to say no, to draw a line, to leave them some space, and to really engage with the destination in a meaningful, locally relevant way, in a way that they can kind of breathe and really enjoy the experience without the pressure that sometimes the AI intervention can bring into the picture.
No, I think great point, and I think we cannot forget that the essence of travel hasn't changed, right? I mean, if someone choosing a small luxury boutique hotel in Bali or Berlin, you know, is around connecting with that destination, with the people, and having that authenticity, and not going into authenticity. I think that's a whole different can of worms. But people want to have an emotional connection, and AI obviously can help in creating some efficiencies and so on. Maybe one quick follow-up question to you, Drago, and maybe to you, Mark, as well. Do you think travel companies are jumping too fast on the AI bandwagon, or not fast enough?
Well, I think AI helps in the sense that it pushes us as suppliers to be a bit providing the right information. And I think AI, we appreciate it, but it helps the consumer ask the right question. It cuts a lot of the what do you need kind of thing that we anticipate. But if you're asking the right question, we can provide you straight away and reaffirm what are the things that you really need. So it cuts the sort of maybe that sort of the gap gets smaller and smaller as we understand each other better. So I think that helps in the sort of the research and a way of researching a property or researching a holiday. So I think that's part is we also guilty of not providing enough information because we always provide generic information online. So you can't really find that information in the system and AI can't able to search. So there's always that gap between, you know, the supplier and the demand customer.
We're about out of time for this session, but maybe one last fireside. I mean, at the beginning, I got the question, how do you see travel or Muslim travel in 2050? Maybe same kind of question to you in 3 to 5 words. Where do you see all of this shifting by 2050?
I think you summed it very well in when you say the passion travel part of it. We would like to see it as almost like we are there as in providing you with a great experience for the stay, regardless of what it is. So it is a kind of the experience path paved the way for you rather than your needs. Basically, we have already addressed that.
Yeah, I like the passion point you made too. I want to see more people travel. I want to see more people connect and engage and learn from each other. So I think this is one of the reasons why we're doing this this thing here today. So thank you very much for a great chat.
Thank you, Mark Wong.
Thank you.
Drago Djourov. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I think in the break, we can continue the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jens, Mr. Mark, and Mr. Drago, for sharing those perspectives and helping us better understand this evolving market.